This, I'm sure you all recognize, is a picture of the brain. And I have this really nifty laser pointer here. Let's see.
That doesn't work.
Here we go. So this is the front of the brain, or the anterior. This is the posterior of the brain, lower brain and upper brain. What we've discovered, and this is all based upon scientific research, it's been provable, there's a lot of information about it now, is that when it comes to appetite and impulse control, the area involved is in the frontal cortex, right about there. And that's called the cingulate gyrus, or ACG, anterior cingulate gyrus. ACG, we can just go with that. What's really interesting about the ACG is we found that there are fibers that go upward and the fibers that go downward. And the fibers that go upward go to the cortex, and that has to do with thought control, executive function, meaning, gee, I already had an ice cream, I really don't need another ice cream. Okay. So that's the decision being made by these ascending fibers. Below the cingulate gyrus, there are descending fibers, which go to the lower centers of the brain, which deal with impulse. That would be, gee, I just had an ice cream, I'm going to have 5 more ice creams. So it's this section of the brain that controls appetite, impulse control. We've also found that other impulses, emotional responses, human drives for sex, sexuality, for appetite, addiction, all comes from this section of the brain. And with the research that's currently being done, we've discovered that there is a way to get into this part of the brain to help control whether those impulses are going up to the conscious control, or they're going down to unconscious control. And what we found through research is that actually acupuncture, when stimulated at the correct points, can control the descending function. In other words, it can control the lower impulses rather than, gee, I need that other ice cream, I need that other piece of candy, I need that other piece of cake. It stops it in its tracks and reverts back to upward or ascending fibers, and we make a conscious decision. Gee, I really don't need to eat so much. So the interesting finding is twofold. One, this is where it's all happening, and two, that there's a way to get into this process and help control it using acupuncture.